Good morning, students. So, this class I would like to highlight some questions. So, students, please be with a textbook and pencil and follow me and mark the questions, and this may help you to learn clearly. Fine. So, this is the second chapter, Kingdom Animalia. Clear? So, Kingdom Animalia, first paragraph, last line. Okay, so there is they include, which means Kingdom Animalia includes 35 phyla, underline. Among these, 11 are considered as a major phyla. That 11 we know, right? Then almost 99% animals are vertebrate. Among these 11, 99% are invertebrates, right? So that also you can underline, right? Then come to the second paragraph, basis of classification. Here one book pack question is asked. It's a question number 23. Okay. The question is, what are the common character of most of these animals? Okay. So mark it from the fourth line. Arrangement of cell layer, the level of organization, nature of coelom, the presence or absence of segmentation, notochord, and this organization of organ system. So this is common for most of these animals, right? Okay. Next is title is cellular level of organization. This is present in sponges. So sponges underline. And the next question, the sponges consist of two layer, outer layer as well as the inner layer. The outer layer is pinacocytes and the inner layer is conocytes. Then you mark these functions of each. So pinacocytes, platelet-like cells that is maintaining the structure and shape of the sponge. Okay. Then conocyte is responsible for respiratory as well as the digestive function. Have you marked? Okay. Come to the next one, tissue level of organization. There it is present in cnidarians, that you mark. Okay. Then organ level of organization is present in phylum Platyhelminthes, that you can underline, right? Then come to the next one, organ system level of organization is present in flatworms, nematodes, annelids, arthropods, mollusks, echinoderms as well as chordates. Clear? Okay. And the same paragraph, last listen, there one question is given as the comparison of incomplete digestive system as well as a complete digestive system. Right? So mark it from here. The digestive system of Platyhelminthes has the only single opening to the exterior, which serves as both the mouth as well as the anus. It is incomplete digestive system. And complete digestive system, Aschelminthes to chordates, all animals have complete digestive system with the two openings, the mouth and the anus. Mark from here to here. Is it clear? Okay. Then come to the next one. Next paragraph, another one question is there. It is a book pack question, question number 25. Okay. Compare open circulatory system as well as a closed circulatory system. Start from the second line and end here. Okay. Then it means it's open circulation means there is no blood capillaries. Closed circulation means blood capillaries will be there. Blood vessels and the capillaries will be available. Right? Okay. Next one is the diploplastic and triploplastic organization. There two questions is given. In the second paragraph, what is diploplastic animals are given. So animals which have cellular arrangement for two embryonic layer, that is ectoderm and endoderm, it is diploplastic animals, right? And the third paragraph they said what is triploplastic animals. Animals in which the developing embryo has a three germinal layer is called triploplastic animals. Ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. And in the bracket also please you mark it because the organs which is developing from each is also mentioned there. Understand? Okay. Then come to the next title. It's a patterns of symmetry. The first three lines we can mark it as a definition for symmetry. Symmetry is a body arrangement in which the parts lie on opposite sides are identical, right? And there is 5 symmetries there. The first one is asymmetrical. From the third line onwards you mark the simplest body plan is seen in the sponges. They do not display symmetry is called asymmetrical. Example, sponges, underline, and snail, underline. Okay. Come to the second paragraph, fourth line. Radial symmetry. When any plane passing through the central axis of the body divides an organism into two identical parts is called radial symmetry. Clear? Mark it. Then come to the last line, fourth line, 4 lines. Triploplastic animals like echinoderms have 5 planes of symmetry and so pentamerous radial symmetry. Okay. Then. And the next symmetry is biradially symmetrical. Animals which possess 2 pairs of symmetrical sides are said to be biradially symmetrical. Example, ctenophores, phylum ctenophores, and example we could say home jellies. Okay, home jellyfish. And the next symmetry is bilateral symmetry. The next paragraph, animals which have 2 similar halves on either side of the central plane shows bilateral symmetry. Understand? So this is 5 types of symmetry: asymmetry, radial symmetry, pentamerous radial symmetry, then biradially symmetrical as well as bilateral symmetry. Understand? Come to the next title, it is coelom. So there is 3 coelom is there, acoelomate, pseudocoel as well as eucoelom, right? So the first one is acoelom. So there we can see the acoelomate. Second paragraph, animals which do not possess any body cavities are called acoelomate. Example, flatworms. Okay. Come to the next one, pseudocoel. So begin from this first, second, third paragraph beginning and end with the pseudocoelomic fluid. Example, roundworm. Are you following me? Okay, next one, eucoelom. Eucoelom also begin from here. Fourth paragraph. Eucoelom or true coelom is a fluid-filled cavity that develops within the mesodermal layer. Okay, so this is as eucoelomates, right? Okay. The next one is, they said this eucoelomate is again classified as 2 more coeloms, that is schizocoelom as well as this enterocoelom. Schizocoelom and enterocoelom, right? Eucoelomate is classified as schizocoelom and enterocoelom as per the formation of this coelom. Okay, schizocoelomate means in these animals the body cavity is formed by splitting of mesoderm. But here they said it is formed from this mesodermal pouches of archendron. So it is formed from the pouches. But here it is splitting of mesoderm. This is an important question and book back question, question number 26. Have you marked? Okay. And come to the next one, segmentation and notochord. There one question is given in the first paragraph, that is what is metamerism. So in some animals the body is internally and externally and internally divided into series of repeated units called segments with the serial repetition of some organs is called metamerism. Mark it. Okay. Come to the second paragraph. Animals which possess notochord at any stage of their development are called chordates. So this is one of the book back question. The question is, and which character is obtained by an chordate during any stage of its development? Which character is obtained by an chordate during its any stages of its development is which character or which feature is obtained? That is notochord. Okay, it is question number 24. Okay, and again this chordata is classified into 2 based on the presence or absence of this notochord, that is, and chordates as well as non-chordates. Clear? Then the next title is classification of kingdom Animalia. So kingdom Animalia is classified as 2 sub-kingdoms, that is Parasova as well as Eumetasova. Then Eumetasova is again classified as Radiata as well as Bilateria. Okay, then so here one flowchart is given. If you go through this flowchart, it is clearly mentioned there. You could understand this clearly about the classification of kingdom Animalia, right? Okay. Then here another one. The Bilateria is again classified as 2 divisions, that is prostomia as well as deuterostomia. Okay, so prostomia means this it, and protostomia includes this eumetasovans, in which it is a eumetasova because it is a true xylem is there, and eumetasovans in which the embryonic blastopore develop into mouth. So from the embryo only all the organs used to develop, am I right? But here they said from the embryo the blastopore region is developing as a mouth. Understand? And here example also they said acoelomate, pseudocoelomate as well as schizocoelomates. Okay. Then deuterostomia means they said, and this is as eumetasovans, but here they said anus is formed from this or near the blastopore. Their mouth is formed from the blastopore. Here anus is formed from the blastopore, otherwise near from the blastopore. Understand? So this difference also they could ask, difference between this protostomia as well as the deuterostomia. Then in the same paragraph, last 2 line listen, they have a true xylem called enterocoel formed from the archenteron. See, it is a book back question, question number 27. The question is, which part is formed from this archenteron? Okay, so deuterostomia is a true xylem called an enterocoel, and this is formed from the archenteron. So mark it, question number 27. Alright. Then come to the next title, it is non-chordates. Among the non-chordates, the first one is phylum Porifera. So listen here. So these areas, if they ask any one 5 mark questions from this phylum Porifera, you have to write almost every points, right? But here I will notice or mark this some 1 words, otherwise 2 mark and the 3 mark question only I could highlight now. But if it is asked as a 5 mark question, you have to write this entire point. Do you get me? Okay, now listen. So this is one of the very important system in this porifera, that is canal system, right? The water is transportation inside the body. Okay, so the water is moving inside through the hole or pore. It is called ostia, and the central cavity is called spongiocele, underline. Then the water is coming out through the opening called osculum. Have you noticed? So underline these things. Then what is the use of this transportation system? That is in the second line, next line they said it is useful for food gathering, circulation, respiration, as well as the removal of the waste. Okay, so that also you mark. This is the use of canal system. Then come to this next point. This is a book back question, question number 22. Mark it, question number 22. The body is supported by a skeleton made up of calcareous and siliceous spicules or spongins. The question is, why the spicules and the spongin is important for phylum Porifera? Because it is giving support or skeletal support to this body. That's why it is important. Understand? Okay, that you mark as question number 22. Okay, and come to the last point. The larva of this phylum Porifera is Parenchyma as well as Ambiblastula. Okay, fine. And the next phylum is Cnidaria. So Cnidaria, one of the special character is there in the Cnidaria because the name Cnidaria is derived from cnidocytes or cnidoblasts with stinging cells or nematocysts on the tentacles. This is an important character, underline. The special cells, cnidocytes or the cnidoblast is present in the tentacle of these organisms. Okay, then what is the use of this one? Next line, cnidoblasts are used for anchoring, defense, as well as to capture this prey. That also you mark, uses. Okay, and come to the next one. The mouth of this organism is called hypostome. Okay, mark it. Then another one very important character. Cnidarians consist of two body forms. One is polyp, another one is medusa. Polyp means cylindrical form, another one medusa is umbrella form. So this also they can ask us a 2-mark question or 3-mark question. Differentiate polyp and medusa. Okay, so it's the two forms of this cnidarians. Polyp is a cylindrical in shape, medusa is a umbrella shape, and polyp is a sessile one because it is fixing in one particular place. But umbrella is a umbrella shape, medusa is a free swimming one. Understand? Example also you can say. Clear? Then come to the next paragraph. There one question is asked, metagenesis. Metagenesis means, so these organisms, two form is there, polyp form as well as a medusa form. So both will be formed alternatively in one complete life cycle. That is called metagenesis. Understand? First polyp stage will be there, then it will produce a medusa stage. Again medusa stage will produce a polyp stage during the life cycle. Those things we have explained during the class. Do you remember? Okay. So the cnidarians which exist in both the forms also exhibit alternation of generation in their life cycle is called metagenesis. Okay. And come to the last point. The larva of this phylum Cnidaria is planula larva. Okay. Okay. Then phylum Ctenophora. Okay. So Ctenophora, one point they said, and they have 8 external rows of ciliated homoplates. That's why this is known as the home jellies. It is one of the nature of this organism. Okay. Then here this is commonly called as it is home jellies or sea walnuts also. Okay. Then another one important character is there for this phylum, that is bioluminescence. Bioluminescence in the means the ability of the living organisms to emit light is called it is bioluminescence. So this is one of the important character of this ctenophores. Okay. And here also another one special cell is there for these organisms, that is called it is lasso cells or coloblast. Underline coloblast, which is useful for food capture. Understand? So this point you mark. Then come to the last point. The larva of this phylum is called side-dipped larva. Okay. Then come to the next phylum. It is Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes, one important question is there. That is the specialized excretory cells called flame cells help in osmoregulation and excretion for Platyhelminthes. So the question is question number 31. What is flame cells? Okay, so it is one of this specialized excretory cell found in this phylum Platyhelminthes, which is helping for osmoregulation as well as for excretion. Understand? Then come to the after 3 lines, one point is given. This Platyhelminthes organism is going through the larval stage. The life cycle consists of the larval stage. So it is passing through various larval stages. The first larval stage they said Meracidium. Next sporocyst, then radia, then cercaria. So these are the larval stages it is passing through. Okay, underline this. Okay, then one more point we can mark there is planaria. It is one of this example for this phylum Platyhelminthes. It shows high regeneration capacity. That also underline planaria. Okay, fine. And the next one is phylum Ascomyndus. So Ascomyndus is previously called Nematoda, right? And here one of this character we can see it consists of this body, the unsegmented body, which is covered by this and transparent proteolytic covering called it is cuticle. So the body is covered by the transparent membrane called cuticle, underline. Then here this excretory cell is Renner glands. Can you notice? Renner glands. Okay, underline it. Okay. Then come to phylum Annelida. So this is commonly called segmented worms, right? Okay, phylum Annelida. Here one question is there, that is, what is hydrostatic skeleton? So there is a coelom with the coelomic fluid creates a hydrostatic skeleton and aids in locomotion. So the coelom is there, the coelom is filled with the coelomic fluid. So inside it is forming one hydrostatic environment. So that's, they say it is a hydrostatic skeleton which is helping for locomotion also. Okay, then again they said, of course, since it is one segmented worm, they said metamerism is there. So this definition already we have seen also, right? Okay, then one of this example they said aquatic annelid like Nereis, it has this appendages, lateral appendages called parapodia. This is helping for swimming. So this is the locomotory organ for Nereis, underline parapodia, right? Okay. And the next question we can see here, it is in the fourth line, the respiratory pigments. So our respiratory pigment is hemoglobin, it is used to transport oxygen, right? The same here this respiratory pigments are hemoglobin as well as chlorochlorine. Hemoglobin and chlorochlorine, underline, it's an important question, okay. Then come to the last, the larva of this phylum is called trochophore larva. Clear? Okay. Come to the next phylum, phylum Arthropoda. Okay, so first line even they said this is the largest phylum of this kingdom Animalia. So kingdom Animal, among all the phylums, this is the largest phylum. Understand? Vast variety of animals are there. And this consists of one of the class, it is called Insecta. So this is the largest class among all the classes. Okay, and even they said 2 to 10 millions of species is there in this class. Okay, so this phylum Arthropoda. And here they one question they said it is molting or ecdysis. So which means the body consists of the exoskeleton. So this will be periodically removed. That is called it is a molting or ecdysis. Can you notice? Markets. Molting or ecdysis. Start from the first line. Okay. And come to the next one here, the respiratory organs. After the two line, the respiratory organs are gills, book lungs or trachea. These are the respiratory organs. Come to the sense organs. Next line. Sense organs like antenna, eye, and the statocyst. See, it is one of the new one. Statocyst is useful for balancing the body, equilibrium. Okay, so mark it. Then the next point, excretory organs. The excretory organs are Malpighian tubules, green glands as well as the coxal glands. Mark it. Right? So these are the questions. And finally one point is given about the metamorphosis. So this life cycle of this arthropod animals are called metamorphosis because it is passing through the various stages. So this life history is called metamorphosis. Right? Okay. Then come to the next phylum, Mollusca. So mollusca, first line they said it is the second largest animal phylum. Second largest animal phylum. Right? Underline. Then about the body divisions they said, body parts. Here the body is divided as three regions, head region, muscular food as well as a visceral hump or visceral mass. Okay. And this cover on this visceral hump is called mantle. And the space between within this mantle is called mantle cavity. Okay. And this mantle cavity consists of a number of feather-like structure called ctenidia, that you mark. Ctenidia. This is useful for respiratory function. Got it? Under. And the next point here, the radula. The mouth consists of the rasping organ called radula. Mark it. Okay. And the next point, ospiridium. After one line, it is one of the important one. The sense organs are tentacles, eyes and ospiridium. This is ospiridium is useful to check the purity of the water. Mark it. Underline. Okay. Then come to the same paragraph, last two line. The blood contains this pigments called hemocyanin, or it is a copper containing respiratory pigments. Hemocyanin. Mark it. Okay, and the last line, larva name is Villiger larva. Villiger larva. Okay, then come to this phylum Echinodermata. So Echinodermata, one of the special character they said it consists of the water vascular system, or this is the ambulacral system. Ambulacral system like canal system. Okay, and this consists, what are the function of this one? Which helps in, underline, locomotion and capture and transportation of food as well as for respiration. Understand? Okay. Then the next one, the last paragraph, they said the echinoderms exhibit autonomy with a remarkable power of regeneration. So remarkable regeneration capacity is there for these organisms. Okay. And come to this Hemichordata. Hemichordata is commonly called as arcanworms or tongueworms. Example, we can say it's a Balanoglossus. Arcanworms, common name is arcanworm or tongueworm. Okay. Then here we can say this excretory organ is proboscis gland or glomerulus. Okay. And see the last line, Tornaria larva is this larva of this phylum. Okay, then we can go for this chordata. So chordata, all chordates possess three fundamental distinct features at some stages. So this is one of the very important 5-mark question we have to mark. Clear? So listen, three important characters given here one by one point. The first one is notochord, second one is nerve cord, and the third one is pharyngeal gill slits. So this location also already mentioned here in this diagram. So diagram is must, and mark this question from the first line to the last point, and this is one of the 5-mark question, right? Okay, then the next one is the tabular column, comparison of the chordates and non-chordates. This tabular column also learn as a 5-mark question. Okay, and so now we can see this subphylums of this phylum chordata. The three subphylum is there. First one urochordata, second cephalochordata, third one vertebrata. Among that, first one is urochordata. Here this is commonly called squirts. Underline squirts. And this consists of the body cavity or body covering. It is called tunic. Underline tunic. Okay. Here one of the important character we can say, notochord is present only in the tail region of this larval stage, hence named as urochordata. So the notochord is present only in the tail region and only in the larval stage. Okay. And finally, one point is given. It consists of the character retrogressive metamorphosis is seen. Retrogressive metamorphosis means the reverse process, which means the larva only consists of the notochord, but when it becomes a matured animal, this notochord may disappear. That's why they said it's a reverse growth. So that's why they said a retrogressive metamorphosis. Okay, mark it. Then you come to the cephalochordata. Cephala means head. Okay, so that's why they said the notochord is present in the head region for this organism. So example, Amphiaxis we can say. So it will be asked as a 5-mark question also. Okay, then come to the subphylum vertebrata. Right, vertebrata. So subphylum vertebrata is classified as Agnatha as well as Anathostomata. This is a recent class. In the last class we have conducted this topic only. So Agnatha and Anathostomata. So what is Agnatha and Anathostomata? Jawless vertebrates as well as this jawed vertebrates. So that differentiation you mark from the second paragraph to this. Fully you can mark because this is an important question. So book back question also there in this paragraph. They ask the differentiation between Agnatha as well as Ostrithies. So here you can mark differentiation between Agnatha and Anathostomata first of all. Okay, then you can mark this and this class of this Agnatha, it is Cyclostomata, underline. Okay, then Gnathostomata is again classified as Pisces as well as tetrapods. Then Pisces are again classified as a cartilaginous as well as this bony fishes. So this table is clearly given in the previous class. Okay, that also you can go through. So now in the book back question number 35, they asked to differentiate Agnatha as well as this Ostrithies. Okay, so this paragraph fully you can mark as the divisions. Then the first class it is Cyclostomata. Okay, Cyclostomata. So here one important point we can mark. This is anadromous migration. So cyclostomes are marine, but it is moving towards this freshwater for spawning, laying eggs. So that is called anadromous migration. And the larva is amosid larva, right? And come to the next class, it is Chondrithies. So this is the classes of vertebrates. Are you following me? Okay. Chondrithies. So here the scales are placoid scales as well as a heterocercal scales. Okay, and the gills are lamelliform gills. Underline. Then kidney type is mesonephric kidney. Then it is ureotelic animals. Okay, so these are the important points we can mark for this class. And the next one, Ostrithies, bony fishes. Here one of the question is there. Skin is covered by the ganoid, cycloid and a ctenoid scales. It's a question number 36. Mark it. They ask the three character of this Ostrithies. Okay. Question number 36. Then it consists of air bladder. Air bladder is useful for gas exchange as well as for maintaining buoyancy. This is question number 37. Okay, mark it. Then the next one. So the next one is amphibians. The respiratory organs of amphibians are gills, lungs as well as through skins. Okay, then it goes for this hibernation as well as for aestivation. Then the next class is reptilia. So reptilia, one of the question they ask, question number 38. What are the character of this reptilia is suitable to survive on this terrestrial? Okay, so here you can go through and any 3 points you can write. Everything is suitable to survive on the earth. Okay, so that you can mark. So reptiles have 3-chambered heart also you can mark. Okay, Cleodic egg. So whatever 3 points you can write from this. Clear? And the next class is aves. Here one of the important questions they ask. The endoskeleton is fully ossified, bony, and the long bones are hollow with the air cavities, pneumatic bones. Okay, this is question number 39. And what is the speciality of this endoskeleton of this aves? Okay, or birds. That is a pneumatic bones. It is air-filled cavities will be there. Right? Question number 39. Another one, next line. The pectoral muscles of flight. So flight muscles of pectoralis major as well as a pectoralis minus. This also will be asked as a 2-mark question. That also you can mark. Clear? Okay. Next one, and the eggs are megalethal type as well as it is cladoid type. Okay. Clear? The next one is their body is covered by the class Mammalia. So 2 unique character they said for this Mammalia. One is the body is covered by the hair. The second one is presence of this mammary glands. So this is the unique nature of this Mammalia. Underline. Okay. Then the skin consists of the glands, that is a sweat gland, center gland as well as a sebaceous gland. Okay. So this is also the unique character of this and mammals. So now we can. So next we can see the evaluation questions. The first question, choose the correct answer. The symmetry exhibited in radiance is radial symmetry. And sea anemone belongs to phylum is and Coelenterata. The excretory cells that are found in the platyhelminthes are flame cells. In which of the following organisms self-fertilization is in earthworm? Nephridia of earthworms are performing the same function as flame cells of planaria. Which of the following animal has a true xylem? Fretima. Metameric segmentation is seen in this features of Annelida. The fretima locomotion occurs with the help of the circular longitudinal muscles of and setae. Which of the following have the highest number of species in nature? Insect. Which of the following is in crustacean? Prawn. The respiratory pigment in cockroach is hemocyanin. Exoskeleton of which phylum consists of chitinous cuticle? Arthropoda. Lateral line sense organs occur in fish. The limbless amphibian is Ethiopis. 4-chambered heart is present in crocodile. Which of the following is not correctly paired? Whale and ammonotelic. Which of the following is an egg-laying mammal? Ornithorhynchus. Then pneumatic bones are seen in aves. Match the following column and select this correct pair. That is option B. And which of the following phyla the adult shows in radial symmetry but the larva shows as bilateral symmetry? Echinodermata. Which of the following is correctly matched? Physalia, Portuguese man of war. Okay, so till here this is choose the correct answer. Question number 22 and the 23 already we have marked inside the textbook. Okay. And next one is question number 24, 25, 26, 27 already we have marked. And question number 28, observe this animal below and answer the following questions. The first one, identify the animal. It is Adamsia. What type of symmetry does this animal exhibit? Radial symmetry. In this animal, cephalized? No. How many germ layer does this animals have? 2, ectoderm as well as endoderm. How many openings does this animal digestive system have? 1. That is called hypostome. Okay. Does this animal have neurons? It consists of nerve net. Okay. Then choose the term that does not belong in the following group and explain why it does not belongs. It's a question number 29. So some character is given there. Notochord, cephalization, dorsal nerve cord and radial symmetry. So this is radial symmetry because all other character is present in the chordate but radial symmetry is not there. It is bilateral symmetry. Okay. And why flatworms are called acoelommates? Because if there is absence of the coelom, so it is called acoelommates. Okay. Then what are flame cells already become marked? Then this concept map also it is regarding this roundworm they asked that we can learn around the roundworm fully you can learn there. Then the question number 33, in which phyla is a larva Trochophorus found? Annelida. And next question, which of the chordate characteristics and tunicates retain as an adult? That is urochordates. Then question number 35 already we marked, or number 36 also we marked. 37 we marked, that is 8 we marked. 39 also we marked. Okay. Then question number 40. Could the number of eggs or young ones produced by an oviparous and viviparous female be equal? Why? The question is, oviparous also laying the egg and the viviparous also producing the egg. Whether the number is equal? Why? The answer is no, the number is not equal. Why? Because in viviparous animals, young ones are developed inside the female body, viviparous. And one or few eggs are produced per every cycle, per cycle. That's why it is very less in number. Understand? Okay. So listen, here I made one tabular column, that is phylum and larva. So throughout this lesson we have learned many larva names, right? So you may get confusion, that's why I made it as a tabular column. One side phylum names are there, another side larval names are there. So whatever larval name they have given in the textbook I have noticed here, but it doesn't mean there is no larva for other phylums which is not mentioned here. Understand? So whatever is mentioned I have mentioned here. Okay. So Porifera larva name is Parenchyma ampiplastula, Cnidaria planula larva, and Ctenophora Cydippe larva, Platyhelminthes, Miracidium, Radia, and Sporocyst and Cercaria larva. Annelida, Trochophore larva, Mollusca, Veliger larva, Hemichordata Turnaria larva, Urochordata tadpole larva, and Cyclostomata ammosid larva. Okay, so pause the video and write down this one and paste it behind this and evaluation page. Okay, this will help you to learn. So hope you understood everything, and it may help you to learn thoroughly, and please learn the questions, don't waste the time, and we can meet in the next class. Okay, fine, thank you.